All right, we've got our Alpine cycle process diagram set up, and right now it's static. It clearly illustrates a process, but it's time to make it intelligent by using data and visual cues to quickly pinpoint where the process needs improvement. In this video, you'll learn how to import and overlay your data onto a Lucidchart diagram to add even more information to each process shape. And you'll learn how to use conditional formatting to create visual cues that call attention to areas where process efficiency can be improved. Because we want to know which parts of the order fulfillment process are inefficient, we're going to add a spreadsheet of data related to the standard processing time for each step. Adding data is one of the best ways to start making your diagram intelligent. It's worth noting that there are two ways to approach data linking. We are starting with a static diagram. We visualize the process first, and now we're adding data to it. The other option is to start with a dataset and build your diagram by dragging and dropping rows of data onto the canvas. For more info on this second approach, visit the Lucid Help Center. Before we import our data, let's make sure it's set up so that we have a header row, or in other words, a title for each row or column of data, and a unique identifier for each line of data. This ensures that Lucid does not get confused with duplicates. To import this dataset, we'll select the data icon and choose Link Data. We'll open our Google Sheet of process time data. We'll choose row 1 as the header row because it contains the label for each column. Then we'll select the column with unique information, which in this case is column A, because each part of the manufacturing process has a unique name. So we know there's no chance of confusing Lucid with duplicates. Done. Now that it's imported, we can see our data here. With a data linked diagram, every change made to our Google Sheet is reflected in Lucidchart. So, in addition to reducing the time it takes to update documentation, this also reduces the risk of data entry errors that can happen when we manually transfer data from an original data source. Data linking also makes it easier to monitor changes and keep our documentation up to date. Next, we'll go ahead and link each row to its related shape. We'll drag the line of data related to order creation to the order creation shape, and so on. If we want to see the data that is connected to a particular shape, we can click over here in the metadata panel and select the tab labeled Shape Data. And there it is. Let's keep going and drag and drop each row of data onto the corresponding process shape on the diagram. And remember, it's automated. So if there's an update in the Google Sheet, the change will be reflected in the Lucidchart dataset and on the data linked shapes. Let's keep going and drag and drop our data onto our sub-process diagram as well. If we want to refresh the dataset manually, we'll just hit the refresh button. Keep in mind that the data refresh can only happen about every 30 seconds, so we might need to wait briefly between updates. We can also make changes to the frequency of the refresh, replace our dataset completely, or just delete it. This is all well and good, but if you think about it, we've really only moved numbers from one place to another. Remember, we want to quickly gather insights from our data, so let's add some conditional formatting that will do the heavy lifting for us. Conditional formatting is a way to tell Lucidchart, hey, if a shape contains data that meets a specific condition, like it contains the value of 1, then I want you to automatically format it, meaning change the color or add an icon, the way I tell you so that I can easily see it. For our Alpine cycle process diagram, we want to know what parts of the order fulfillment process are keeping mountain bikes from being shipped to customers on time. So if our ideal processing time is represented by a 1, then we want Lucidchart to alert us if any parts of the process are taking longer than the ideal value of 1. Let's go to the conditional formatting menu. What we want to do is add a new rule. Let's call our rule time score. Let's set up our rule to be if shape data is less than or equal to 1, our ideal score. Then icons, icon library, we'll choose one, and we want the hover text to read on track. This icon will instantly allow us to look at our diagram and see which steps in the process are functioning efficiently. Now we'll keep going with an else if condition. This means that we want to add more conditions to our visual formatting. So else if shape data standardized time score is less than or equal to 1.1, so a bit higher than our 1 ideal, then format with an icon. We'll choose a color, add hover text, and we'll keep the position here just like we did the other rule. Okay, one more rule to cover all of our bases. Else if shape data, standardized time score, is greater than 1.12. This is enough time that if a step takes this long, it will cause problems with the other steps. Then icons, icon library, red triangle, hover text indicates a bottleneck. Then we'll hit save. So we want to make sure that the conditional formatting rule is checking all of the shape data in every shape in the process diagram. So we'll hit these 3 dots and select Apply to All Shapes. For even more detail about conditional formatting, visit the Lucid Help Center. Now it's scanning the whole document, and then we'll select the I button to see the conditional formatting applied, and there we go. We can instantly see the Alpine cycle has a bottleneck at manufacturing. And because we visualize the process, we can see that this bottleneck is connected to other parts of the process, affecting the efficiency. Now, if Alpine cycle needs to quickly communicate this information to various stakeholders, the conditional formatting makes the diagram easy to quickly understand, because the problem areas are made instantly obvious based on the icons. If we want to be able to toggle the conditional formatting on and off to control what we want displayed, we'll use the Actions capability we used earlier. We'll copy and paste the layer button, but instead of the action taking us to another layer, we'll select Conditional Formatting Rule and select Time Score. There we go. Easy customization based on what we need to show. Last but not least, remember the diagram key? We'll add our icons there to make it easier to communicate what these symbols mean within the diagram. All right, we've unlocked the power of visual communication through intelligent diagramming. Well done. Continue on to the activity to try it out on your own.